Okay, let's try that again. All right, what's going on, guys? Try back again here to bring you another video, another stream, another live stream, an attempt. Okay, I think we can see it now. Hey, guys, I can see Jebediah's now, Bubba. I think that fixed it. Welcome, you two. So if you're not sure what happened there, we had a stream going, and then the chat crashed on us in the stream. So I had to close it, and then we had to reopen it again to start it again. So hopefully this one will work. Bubba Deutsch said, have you seen the documentary Out of the Shadows? I did look through it, and maybe we'll get into that after. But let's do the Walking Dead stuff first before we get into the other stuff that's going on in the world right now, which is really fun. Greek Wolverine started. So damn you, Bill Gates. So let's hope they don't shut the. It's really weird. That's the first time I've had a stream's live chat shut off on me. So let's be careful about what we say in the chats, because I think that's really weird that that last stream dropped the chat for some reason. That's very strange. So Charlie is asking, where's the wife? So Jess is doing good, but she just isn't. She's not feeling stream ready tonight. She's resting. So we stayed up late last night. Doing some stuff, and so she's just sleeping. So she probably won't join us tonight. Sorry, guys. I know that's disappointing for you, but I might have her back. Maybe she'll join us on Wednesday if we do another live stream, or next Sunday. She'll probably join us soon. And so that's cool. I don't want to force her to do it. I don't want to force her to come on live stream, but yeah, Charlie says need some eye candy. So thanks, Charlie. Yeah, that's true. It's good to have you here for it. Hey, Brian, how you doing? That's true. I dyed my hair blonde. Jess likes it, so that's the main reason why. Jojo said, "Hey, Trev, I'm watching you since season 2. Time flies." Yeah, hey man, how you doing, Minnie? Yeah, time certainly does fly. So let's get into the Walking Dead stuff first with you guys as we're starting things off, because it is Sunday night, so I definitely want to do a stream with you guys tonight and at least do one Walking Dead topic video. So this one's continuing after the news that was released on about Thursday from comicbook.com. If you guys did not see this, they announced that the Walking Dead movie will not be in theaters anymore, or at least that's their interpretation of it. Now, usually comicbook.com is pretty on point. So if they say that because of the way the deal is working out with AMC, that the Walking Dead movie will no longer be in theaters, and that deal's kind of dropped off with Universal, man, that really sucks. And I think a lot of people were hoping when I did a video on that on Thursday that maybe they're wrong and maybe somehow we could still see it in theaters. But it sounds correct to me. I mean, based on what's happened in the world and the whole worldwide situation with TS19 and everything, I'll just say that to be careful here for the. I want to keep the chat going here, but it's unfortunate, man. The movies were taking a while anyway, and now that this whole thing happened in the world, now that it looks like the movies are going to be, at least in terms of the theatrical release, are going to probably be scrapped. So what people brought up as a possible alternative idea, which I think makes perfect sense, and I'm sure AMC will discuss that, and they probably end up going with that, is what if they did the movies as a AMC Premiere release? So where you have to have AMC Premiere, and if you sign up for it, then you can watch the movie and you can do that. And then all they have to do is really battle online uploading as best as they can to really shut that shit down, no exceptions, so that people have to actually go to AMC Premiere to actually watch it and do it that way. That I would be okay with that. I think we all wanted to see a big theatrical movie release for the Walking Dead movie, with Rick returning and Michonne eventually finding him and all this stuff happening. But unfortunately, it just sounds to me like it's, it sounds like it's pie in the sky after the whole, the whole COVID world situation. Now it just sounds like it's like, well, it's probably, the movies are probably not going to happen, in theaters. So maybe they'll do a movie release where you can kind of buy it or something like that. And they show it on AMC. They show it on AMC Premiere. I hope we get at least one movie still. And, so hopefully we get that. But it is kind of sad that we probably won't be seeing the Rick movies in theaters now, according to comicbook.com. And I think they're right. I mean, unless we hear something change, it does sound very plausible to me that they would go against the idea of still doing a theatrical release with how much risk they would take to do that in the markets right now. We don't know how many people are going to want to go to the movies after this whole thing has happened, if the movie theaters are all going to even stay open. Some people have drive-ins in their area, which is pretty cool. But, that's only a few areas. We don't have drive-ins here. I'm actually kind of jealous that you guys still have drive-in movies. I think that's kind of cool because that just has a retro feel to me. And I've actually never been to a drive-in in my life because we don't really have them here in Canada. Not really. But that's kind of a really cool idea. To have like a drive-in movie theater type of deal. And it's just kind of, I don't know, man, it's just that's kind of neat to me. So it's unfortunate, guys, but hopefully we can still see the movies get done in some way, and we can see like AMC Premiere release or something like that. Now, what also could be a possibility is, I think it's probably back on the table, the possibility of Rick returning to the TV series at this point now. I think that's probably coming back into where that might actually start to make sense. Now, he did say categorically that he would never return to the Walking Dead TV series, but that was before COVID. That was before this whole thing has happened. So I do see it as a possibility. Some people brought up that maybe we actually could see him return to the show, or maybe they do the AMC Premiere movies, or they do the movies and then we see him back or something like that, and they keep the show going on longer. I'm not sure if as many actors are going to going to want to go to movies because, the whole movie industry might start to decline as a result of COVID. And then we might see the streaming services increase even more because instead of people leaving to go to the theaters and stuff like that, they may want to stay home and watch the streaming stuff instead. And we'll see if I'm correct in that. Maybe I'm not, maybe I'm wrong. But what do you guys think about that? What, does that make sense to you? And we got our first super chat from Anton Zarasos Zars Oso. So he said, "Hey Trev, and thanks for the super chat there, Anton. And if you guys want to do one, you can send it through. Just want you to know, I followed you for nearly 7 years. My question is, do you think Beta would hesitate to kill a child?" Well, thanks for following the channel for 7 years, Anton. And would Beta hesitate to kill a child? Man, he's just such a monster right now. At this point in time, I don't think he would. I think any of us would want to think that anybody would hesitate if it came to that. But right now, with how we saw him kill Gamma and everything like that, and he's just so lost and his mind is so scrambled and screwed up, maybe that would be something, if he had to, that would be something that could snap him out of it. But I tend to think probably not. He probably would be able to just go ahead with that without hesitation, and that would be no big deal for him. But man, that's brutal. Thanks for all your support, man. A few questions here, and then we'll get back to the Walking Dead topic straight away. Republic Jedi says, when will the Paul McCartney video be uploaded? So I will upload that soon for you guys. I have it already pretty much done. I'm going to re-edit the images and put the images in and everything like that. And I'll re-upload it soon for you guys. So here we've got Jeff Wright, so the chat was working. Maybe for you guys it was, Jeff, but not for me. It had broken off for me. I couldn't see what you guys were saying. I couldn't read any of your messages or anything. So let's see what we've got here. We did have someone said they bought a shirt for them and their wife. So thank you for that. I want to find the name here because that's really cool. That was, let's see. Yes, Miguel Avalos. So thank you, Miguel, for buying a shirt and buying one for the wife. That's really cool, man. I really appreciate that. And I hope you guys like the channel. And we're going to keep right on going here into an uncertain future and just kind of go wherever things kind of take us. Even today, I did a video on David Icke being banned from YouTube and banned from Facebook, which is absolutely horrendous news, I think, for freedom of speech and freedom of thought. And what it means is that, basically YouTube could come through and delete a channel anytime they want if they just feel like, because it is a privately owned company for Alphabet, for Google. Well, Alphabet's publicly traded, but it is a company to where they can make decisions. And if they decide they don't want someone on their platform, they can remove them if the person's causing, if there's too much, like if they just don't want to have that person there anymore, they can just delete them without strikes or without anything. So here's to hoping that in the future that Trev's Chan 2 and this channel will be able to continue with you guys. The problem is that I'm a very honest person. So when you guys ask me stuff, I love to answer you honestly, in my opinion, and the way I see things. I don't like to, first of all, I don't like to lie to you guys, but also on top of that, I don't like to, to do no comments and that kind of stuff. And hopefully the internet doesn't become to the point where we're not able to even tell the truth and be honest about what we think. Now, David Icke was the #1 challenger for the pyramid. He went after them. He told everybody about the Rothschilds, about, the families, about this whole thing and the way things and how things work. And, that's just something like you can't really, you certainly can't do that in the mainstream media. CNN will not have you on to talk about anything to do with any of the families of the 13. But it could get to a point here where with the internet, the internet will be the same as TV, to where it's all mainstream. The whole message is controlled, and anybody who defies that or goes against that and even mentions, some of these families, then they'll just be blacklisted. They'll be banned right away. And I hope that doesn't happen, but, to everybody else out there. But it's sort of like he was the #1, guy kind of going against it, letting people know about this cabal that we actually do really have. And it's unfortunate. I don't want it to be there. People get mad at me recently. They've been getting mad at me for doing these videos with you guys. I want to still do Walking Dead videos as much as possible, and I will. We're going to do lots of Walking Dead videos in the future. I'm not moving away from Walking Dead or anything like that. I'm just producing during the TS19 world situation, and Walking Dead is a little bit on hiatus right now. It doesn't mean we can't still do Walking Dead videos, and you guys can't send through Walking Dead questions and whatnot. You definitely can. But if people are asking me questions, what I think about people like Bill Gates or the pyramid structure and this kind of stuff, then I like to answer. I don't want to be restricted and censored like David Icke has been, to where you're banned right offline and you guys can't watch the channel. We can't have fun. We can't do anything because I happen to be too honest to where I tell you guys the truth to what I do, to where my research over the last, I'd say 5 to 7 years has kind of taken me in my spare time when I have time to look into these things. Because unfortunately, I look into a lot of this stuff and I find that, okay, actually, yeah, that's true. Or at least it's partially true. And that kind of sucks, because it's like, oh, I don't want to hear that. It's not what you want to hear, but if it's the truth, then it's the truth. Pete D says, appreciate the stream and stay safe. So thank you, Pete. Appreciate your support. If you have a question for me, man, go ahead and send it through. I was at a drug store the other day and I got this guy here. Do you guys see this? This is a minion, right? So in my recent video, the pyramid video, I explained what this is. Okay, what these are. So we're the minions. Okay, now this is a symbolism that I read into it. And I've given you guys in the pyramid video an understanding to understand what this has to do with. It's done by Illumination Studios. Okay, it says right there. I don't know if you can see that. Illumination minions. So you have the white and the yellow. So you have being lit up, the light bearing. Okay. You have the one eye symbolism on Stuart, who's one of the characters. He's looking sly here. Okay. And then I don't know if you can see this, but he comes with a card. And I had to buy it once I saw the card. What's on the card? What's on the card is a serpent. A snake. Okay, so if you guys saw the pyramid video that I did, I reposted it again today because YouTube was effing around with it. So I decided, well, I'll take it down and repost it. Anyway, this is really cool. This is basically what I consider to be an Easter egg for people who understand a little bit about the occult and understand a little bit about the secret societies, the Royal Society, and our elites that we have. So this is really cool. This is really fun stuff. I like to share this information with you guys. I don't think they mind too much for me to do that. It's an inside joke, and the sheeple are on the outside. So I just want to share this stuff with you guys and tell you, like, hey, this thing? Like, this is real. Like, this is a real thing. They actually put Easter eggs and stuff to have fun with it. Anyway, there's the one eye there for you guys and everything like that. So, and in the pyramid video, I explained what the one eye represents from their perspective. Okay. Anyway, I thought that was cool. I thought I would share that with you guys. So I hope I can still do that with you guys. And my purpose here is not to offend anybody or do anything like that. My purpose is to share the information that I get. And if it's information that people are not really supposed to know, I still want to share it with you guys anyway. Because you're not going to get this on CNN. You're not going to get these types of angles and these types of information from the mainstream media. The mainstream medias are in the pyramid's pockets. That's their method of control. They actually use that mainly, I'd say, for mind control, especially with ridicule. That's a really good combination for them. A lot of the talk shows, like the Tonight shows and stuff, Jim Carrey comes out and he does the all-seeing tongue and everybody laughs for Dumb and Dumber. it's all, they use the ridicule to control so that people don't actually look into it and don't actually think it's real, but it is. Subby says, thanks, Subby, for the super chat. He says, glad you're streaming more often, brother. Loyal subscriber since 2014 and love you. So thank you, Subby. Love you too, man. Stay safe and everything. And yeah, man, you guys are awesome. That Ghost says in a super chat, thank you, That Ghost. Please keep up the conspiracy videos going, even if when The Walking Dead comes back on. Been watching for years and always like how the channel's evolving. So I'll keep them going. You're right, Ghost. I want to keep them going because I actually think they're very important. And I know other people, especially the girls, they don't like it. Women tend to be a very more agreeable than men in terms of the psychometrics. So that's not me being sexist. That's in terms of the personality inventory psychometrics. You run them down and you'll see that to women, on average, their median is more agreeable than men. Men are more disagreeable than women. So men have a better time with conspiracy ideas because they're able to actually look at it and disagreeably discern whether or not they're true. Whereas agreeable people, especially highly agreeable people, they're just going to follow along with whatever the majority are doing. So they can't really discern. So men have a better chance of getting this stuff than a lot of women do. Now, some disagreeable women will be able to figure some of this out. But typically, the most agreeable people will go along with the mainstream approach to the mainstream opinion. But basically, in the future here, if Bill Gates comes out and starts doing other stuff, or we see these vaccines or whatnot, there's going to be some civil unrest here and what's going on. And if you guys don't know about this, the mainstream, I saw a mainstream CNN thing from the Daily Beast. I'm not making this up. There's a news outlet called the Daily Beast. Okay. And then you have Como on CNN. He says that the nurses, because he actually got, one of the Como brothers actually got COVID. And so CNN's doing all this fear stuff with it, like showing x-rays and all this stuff. And he says that the nurses call it the beast because his temperature is so high. So given what I explained to you guys in the pyramid video about what the eye is, when you hear things like the Daily Beast and they call it the beast, I'm giving you a different interpretation of what exactly they mean by that. Okay. So basically, where I was going with this is that, there have been protests already in the United States, and the Daily Beast had it on. There was a video thing I watched online 2 days ago where you've got some American protesters, and they're already protesting Bill Gates's vaccine. They got the signs up. They got the don't vax me, bro, is probably going to be the the saying. But they've already got the we don't want your vaccine, Gates, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of civil unrest happening. The Daily Beast, again, they do the mind control, tactic here, and they say that this shows the worst of America, yada, 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 yada. People gathering, people protesting, and they're not even that close together. They are separated up to a degree, but they're protesting because they don't want the vaccine. So we're going to see a lot of interesting stuff happen here in the next year to 2 years, guys, with protests, with a bit of civil unrest, with different countries handling this differently. This is going to be a very interesting thing to see how this whole thing goes together, to see who gets the vaccine, who's going to create the vaccine first, which company is going to offer it, how that's going to work. Will it be tested enough? Because I've heard things like vaccines are supposed to be tested for at least like 4 years before anybody takes them. And Bill Gates is out here saying that it'll be about 1.5 years for a vaccine. But again, they're supposed to be tested from what I've heard doctors say in interviews. I'm just reciting what they say. Vaccines are supposed to be tested for 4 years before you start injecting people with them. You're not supposed to be giving people a vaccine that just was recently developed when it hasn't been thoroughly tested through enough, especially to the masses. So what the implications of that, or what could happen if you vaccinate everybody with a brand new vaccine that's not tested, the side effects or what could happen to different people of, let's say, different blood types or whatever, different variables involved here. You have to test the thing thoroughly, and it doesn't sound to me like they're going to. It sounds to me like they're going to probably rush this vaccine to market. So as far as the disagreeable space goes, there's going to be a lot of stuff coming up that's going to be very interesting to see. So I would hate to take that away from you guys to where we don't have a platform where we can discuss what we think about these topics and what we think about these things. I mean, I just find that to be so interesting. This is real life here. I know entertainment's fun and everything like that. We all love The Walking Dead. You guys know I love it as much as any of you do. And so it's great. And we'll keep doing that. We always will. But I'd hate to take that away from you guys where we can't even discuss openly online here what we think about what's happening. And we can't, dig into some of the stuff that Bill Gates has been saying, or we can't dig into some of the stuff that Fauci and Trump and the others have been saying, because it affects all of our lives. It affects all of us. So why wouldn't we talk about it and, give our thoughts on it? But again, I get it. If you're an agreeable person in the psychometrics of maybe 90 or higher, you just want to go along with the authority and you don't want to think for yourself and get it to, you probably should be an 80 or less in terms of the agreeable, disagreeable scale. If you're too high on the agreeable scale to where you're in the 90s, you're not going to question it. You're not going to disagreeably discern and go for, okay, do I believe them? Do I not believe them? No, you're too agreeable. So you're always going to believe them right away. And you won't even consider it. So I get that too. That goes said, I bet the conspiracy guy, Alex Jones, is going crazy. Yes, he is. They took his show away and he can't talk about Corona. Right. He was silenced first. And now David Icke has been silenced too. So, and if you guys are not up with this, they delete your channel, your YouTube channel, without even telling you. They delete your Facebook account. Twitter, they might delete your Twitter account. And within like a day or two of each other, which is very suspicious. These companies are supposed to be separate. You're not supposed to have this continuity or this stance together that's so close to where in one day they can shut you down. One day you say something, one day they can just clean you out. So one day it's very possible that I might say something on one of these live streams, just so you guys know, if my channel ever disappears, it's not because I deleted it. It's because they shut it down or somebody got pissed off and shut it down. YouTube shut it down or whatever, which I don't want it to ever see happen. But now that it's happened to David Icke and it's happened to Alex Jones before, people can say, well, that's an exception. This is an exception, yada, yada. Yeah, you can always make the exceptions. But basically, if you take on the powers that be, if you take on the pyramid and you disagreeably give a different narrative, this is what they're doing now. I was wondering what they were going to do because I saw Bill Gates' approval thing going down the tank. 70, 80% people saying, hey, Bill, I know you're giving $150 million to Corona research. Go F yourself. We don't want your money. Go screw yourself. Thumb it down. You're this, you're that. Call them all these names, whatever. That's happening. So I was questioning to myself, dude, what's going to happen when the mind control CNN pumps aren't working anymore? When people's brains have become free to think for themselves and to decide what they think is true and what they think isn't true. What's going to happen at that point? That's a kind of a scary thought for them too. So that's where they're going through and they're using these CCDHs or whatever to say, shut down, shut down, shut down, shut down. They may clean the internet. They may go through and say, anybody who disagrees with the official narrative, shut them down. Anybody, So we might see that happen, guys. So just to let you guys know, if the channel I'm ready. If the channel gets deleted at some point in the future, it's because I didn't sell out to bow to the pyramid. I didn't sell out to the man. That's why. And neither did they. And unfortunately, their channels are no longer there. And their social media presence is no longer there. So I hope Brian from London Real is good and that he's able to continue doing what he's doing. He's like the last holdout, I'd say. You got a guy like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is a goat. He is completely subservient to the pyramid. He even does the voice, like he says, secret societies, are they real? Blah, blah, blah. He knows exactly what he's doing, you guys. He's making it sound like it's a farce. Even though he knows, and Alex Jones has revealed, Joe Rogan knows all this stuff. He just pretends like he doesn't. He knows all of this. He knows the moon landings are fake. He thinks aliens are real, which I think they are too, which you're allowed to talk about. But as far as all this other stuff goes, he knows that a lot of this stuff is not just nonsense. He knows a lot of it's true. But he's not going to do that because then he's going to go against the pyramid and they're going to shut him down. They're going to pull his podcast. And he knows that. So do I. Michael Perrin says, Trev, come to Vegas. I'll take you and Jess to the drive-in. Do you guys have a drive-in movie theater in Vegas there, Mike? Oh, that's so cool, man. I would love to do that. Somebody asked me to put my Whisper mask on. Mask on. Okay. Here we go. Got my mask. It's cool, man. Whisper Trev. For a little bit, we'll do the Whisper Trev. Yeah, that's cold. And I had a Bitcoin thing holding it down. This is a Bitcoin. Can you guys see that? Yeah, you can kind of see it. Yeah, that's cool. Holding. Yeah, that's cool. So I do support Bitcoin, actually. I kind of like that. It's actually free money. They haven't dumped it yet. Yeah, they like the mask on. I'm near a drive-in, so a lot of people have drive-ins. That's pretty cool, man. I didn't know that there was drive-ins still around because we've never had them here, so that's pretty cool. Trev, give a wave. Hey, Charlie, how you doing? Rip Mr. J, says Aiden. Yeah, Mr. J's dead. He's sleeping right now. So, yeah, man. Let's see. Okay, Matt. Hey, Matt, how you doing? Get the mask on, Charlie. You got it. At least for a bit. Release Mr. Johnson, Blitz says. Okay, then they'll definitely shut us down. Then I'll definitely give them a reason to shut it down, right? Yeah. Turn of the Frogs gay. Alex Jones classic. Yeah. Some people even think Alex Jones is controlled opposition. Do you guys know what that is? Controlled opposition? It means that they put certain people into the conspiracy space to go against it. Sort of the opposite of like a William Cooper. You guys know who William Cooper is? He was very good. And yeah, he's not around anymore. He's dead. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Mask on. Okay, there you go. So I did it. I'm just catching up with your guys' chats while I was ranting there for a while. Are you from Alberta? No, I'm not. Fortnite clickbaiter in the house. Fortnite, yeah. I actually haven't played Fortnite, but it looks pretty fun. It looks good, man. I gotta try it out sometime. Your whole channel is Fortnite clickbait. At Subby, he said that. Alex Jones was the first of many. I think Bill Cooper was before Alex Jones. Was he? I think he was, yeah. And he did a lot of good stuff on the moon landings. He went into a lot of stuff about why they're fake, which is pretty cool. Like the level that the astronauts can jump. It's not nearly high enough as it should be. Things like that. He did some good radio things on. That was before I think that was before YouTube or before. Yeah, it was before the internet was really like it is now. And he was doing like a radio show. So that's pretty cool, man. Yeah, there you go. So let's see. Drive for mayor. Yeah. Oh, and I wanted to say also to you guys, it's when I do these videos, I'm not trying to offend you guys. Like I know you guys come here for Walking Dead. You love Walking Dead. I love Walking Dead too, man. I'm not trying to offend you guys with this stuff. I'm simply just giving one man's opinion, my opinion based on my research and what I think about these things. That's it. And I'm pretty good at disagreeably figuring things out, logic-wise. I'm pretty good at it. And good at finding Easter eggs and stuff like that. And they do use Easter eggs. Like Bill Gates, for example, when he uses the number 33. He uses number 33 all the time. It's an Easter egg because he's a 33rd degree Freemason, which... I've gotten into a few times here. Anyway, you guys know a lot of stuff. We've already gotten into it anyway, so it's what it is. AOTD said, Trev, did you know the Spoiling the Dead fans is closing down on May 31st? Wow, no, I didn't know that, Alicia. I didn't know that they were closing down, so that's unfortunate. Are they shutting the site down? Is that what they're doing? Can we really say like, okay, so what was the purpose of the site anyway? And I don't want to piss them off. They get mad at me sometimes if you didn't know that. I don't want to piss off Spoiling the Dead fans. I understand. Some people are huge fans of The Walking Dead. They love it. They want to know what's going to happen next right away. But, Greg Nicotero came after them a little bit. He said, like, they're ruining the show. So I can't go against what Greg Nicotero said. He's the one who, like, made The Walking Dead what it was. Hey, did you guys see he did a thing where he did some pictures of how to keep coronavirus away? And he took Alpha's head and the other heads, and he put them on his gate at the front of his house. I should grab those pictures. I got to get an iPad or something so I can go through it on the live stream with you guys and show you the pictures. He took Alpha's zombie head, and he put it on his gate at the front to keep people away from COVID. Like, stay away from me. I did see also, someone sent me an article that of Norman Reedus and his wife, is it Diane Kruger? I believe so. And they were going to, I think, a party or somewhere. They had some liquor or something. And someone sent me this to where, like, they were, paparazzi taking pictures of them and following them around, stuff like this. I don't want to cover that stuff, guys. I don't support that. I don't support, Norman Reedus. I know he's famous and he's uber famous and whatever. And, a lot of people Walking Dead are. But to follow them around like the paparazzi, to be like, snapping pictures of them every time during this, pandemic is like, will you just leave them alone? You know what I mean? Like, just leave them alone. Let them go to, let them grab some drinks and go to the store or go do their thing without, snapping a million pictures of them. I think a lot of people forget sometimes, just because these people are whatever, they're still people. And sometimes they just want to be left alone, after 10 years of this nonsense. It's crazy. Blitz wants, Trev, can you release the Paul is Dead video? Yes, I'm going to. And this time, if I get a bunch of phone calls, I'm going to leave it up. Screw them. You know what I mean? Screw them, dude. You know, he released the book, man. I don't give a shit. You know, he released the book. I paid the money for the book. It has the information in it. He says in it, Lucifer rules the world. He says that. And, you know, anyway, we'll go into it. But I'm going to re-release the video because, you know, he released the book on purpose. In 10 or 20 years when he's gone, there's going to be movies made about this like crazy. You're going to see all kinds of Beatles replacement movies and spy shit, all kinds of stuff. They're going to use this, but they haven't done it yet because he's still doing well. He's probably getting his injections or whatever. You guys know what they do, what the elites do for their blood injections and stuff? They take the blood of someone who's like in their young 20s or whatever, and the same blood type, and they extract their blood and then they inject it in. They buy it and they inject it into you know, the top elites. That's how they live to be over 100 years old. A lot of these people. You guys ever notice why like the Queen and people like this live to be like over 100? Like they get into their high 90s or they live forever. That's one of the reasons, because they actually take the blood from the young, like vampires, and they inject it into them to be able to get the growth factor and things like that in it. They actually do this. There's public info about that out there. Isn't that sick, man? You buy someone's blood and you get it injected into you so that when you're older, so that you can kind of live and stuff. Man, that's crazy, dude. Talk about the phone calls blitz. Well, basically, every day for a month after I did the Flat Earth stuff, when season 10 premiered, I got these government phone calls, which are like scam calls, but they started right after I would do a video and they continued for like a month. And then they'd stop eventually. And then if I did another type video, like on Flat Earth or something, they'd do it again and they'd start again. So I decided like, okay, cool. I'm just going to stay away from it. Maybe it's just some scammer. It's just a coincidence. That's fine. Whatever. But usually they don't call you every day for a month. That's really weird to get that. And they leave a message too. They robotically repeat your name back to you and tell you to call this number, you know, federal government, yada, whatever, all this crap. So it's just like a scam call, but it was the timing on it was really weird. That's why I decided to delete the Paul is Dead video. The thing is with the Paul is Dead one is that people are not really supposed to know that. It's a replacement that occurred that you're not really supposed to know about that. So that's why it's sort of, it's like the moon landings. You're supposed to think the moon landings are real. You're not supposed to know that that it's filmed, you know, in an expensive government studio. You're not supposed to know that. You're supposed to think they were real. And so if I tell you otherwise, you know, even Joe Rogan won't do that. He won't tell you anymore the moon landings are fake. He says, you know, he apologetically fence sits in the middle and he says that it's entirely possible some of the footage was fake. Yeah, some of the footage was fake. It's all fake. Anyway, I don't want to get they're going to delete me too. It's just a matter of time, guys. I can't help it. I just speak my mind. They're going to delete me at some point. Have I ever smoked pot? Logan wants to know. Yeah, I was in college at once too. Yeah, Logan, I was in college once too, man. Yes, I did. When I was in school, but I stopped because I wanted to actually finish school and, you know, do all that. And it does slow you down, Logan, just so you know, man. It can slow you down a bit. So it's cool if you don't really need to do anything like, you know, heavy duty with your mind or whatever, then maybe it's fine. But if you smoke pot every day, man, and you have to do an intensive job or something like I do with your mind, like my day job, it's very intensive with my brain, then it's probably not good. So opinions aren't offensive, says Brian Atcham. I love Harry Channel's Evolving, said Eve. Thank you, Eve. Hey, I appreciate that, man. That's really cool. See, so some of you guys like it. Some of you guys are with me on this. You're not totally against me. The Irony said, where's Jess? She's just downstairs. She wasn't feeling up to do the stream tonight. But thank you also for missing her not being here, and thank you guys for doing that. I'll have her join us soon, so she'll come back on soon, and maybe on a Wednesday or next Sunday she will. Someone said that Bill Cooper was shot in his front yard. That whole thing, you know, it's sad, man. It's really sad. I guess one good thing about nowadays is if you defy the pyramid, if you go against the structure, they just delete your accounts. They digitally kill you. But they don't actually send out the goons, send out the NSA or the CIA. Someone told me if you spell Illuminati into Google backwards, it brings up the NSA, the National Security Agency. So if you spell Illuminati backwards, Google shows you the National Security Agency. I told you guys, minions, Easter eggs. Look for the Easter eggs. You'll find them. They put Easter eggs everywhere. So it's just what it is. But the whole backwards thing is inversion anyway. It's, you can look into Crowley's Thelema and you'll find all you want to know about backwards and inversion. It's not an accident. They do it on purpose. It's part of their culture. Anyway, let's see. Blitz says, Mr. J pissed up a storm last night. The Walking Dead universe says, hey, Trev. Hey, how you doing, man? Let's see what we got here. Mask on to a bunch of people. Yeah, that's cool. So about seeing, okay, so if they're not going to do the Rick movie in theaters now, if it, if it's on Premiere or something like that, I mean, who knows? Maybe, because some people did say, well, AMC, the company, is different from AMC theaters. And I have to look into the differences between them and what each one includes. But I just went along with what comicbook.com said, where they said it's not going to be in theaters now. They're usually pretty reputable. So I said, okay, if comicbook.com says it, it makes sense. That's what I thought was real life. That's what I went with. It could be wrong. Maybe there's a slight chance we could still see the Rick movies in theaters. But, I kind of tend to think like, no, it probably not. It'll probably be an AMC Premiere release. Just think about what you would do. Would you release a big budget, expensive movie right now or next year after the COVID situation? If you could put the brakes on it, you probably would, right? You probably would do it for a TV release instead or something like that. Mini Me Mojo said, there's a lot of tinfoil hat theories out there. The crazies shine during these times. Well, yeah, you're right about that. That they do when things like this happen. The thing is if it totally looks natural, then you don't have to worry about it too much. It's where you get into people, Mimi. It's when you get guys like Bill Gates who predicted it happening. That's when it gets kind of like, how did you predict this? Like, how did you know this was going to happen? That's very suspicious, and that's when the theories really get in overdrive, is when people have information they're not supposed to have. It's like insider trading, when someone sells all their stocks the day before the market plummets by 20%. You're not supposed to know that information, and we actually legally go after people for that. If it appears that they got some inside info, you can confiscate their phones and whatever and see what was said and this whole thing. Sometimes. Holly Norman Music says, I love your channel, Trev. Keep up the great work. So thank you, Holly. Appreciate your support there. That's cool. If you got a good question or a question at all, you can send it to me, whatever you think, whatever you want to ask. Big Marcus 1995 says, Trev, do you think we will ever see a Negan miniseries or The Governor about their backstories? So there was some talk about that. I think there was some rumors about the possibility of other movies that they might do or stuff like that. I think that's all probably up in the air at this point. We don't know what we're going to see in terms of Walking Dead theatrical releases, if any at all. Maybe a good prediction would be we won't probably see any. But I hope they do some other miniseries and stuff like that. They have talked about that they could see that. Marcus said AMC theaters and AMC channel are different. That's why the movie won't be in theaters. AMC is owned by Universal, and Universal is feuding with AMC theaters. Yeah, it sounds right to me, that it probably will be, maybe it'll be a premiere release is what a lot of us are thinking. Like it'll be an AMC premiere release. Jebediah Gaming wants to know when Paul McCartney died. He died in 66. According to the book, 1966. So actually, Hey Jude is Bill, and so is a lot of the stuff that's after from 66 onward. Is Bill, who plays Paul, Billy Shears, Bill Shepherd, shepherding the sheep. It's all buys into their culture. Again, I've explained this stuff with you guys before. We get into eventually what goats are. If you guys want to know what goats are in the occult, I could show you that. Goats are traders, basically. Goats lead the lambs to slaughter. They have horns too. So you see like the Marina Abramovic holding is it a goat head or something with horns? You get horns all over the place. Baphomet type horns all over the place in entertainment. Watch one of the Academy Award shows or one of the music shows, and you see Madonna or you see Lady Gaga come out and they got the horns everywhere and all this crazy shit. That's not an accident. That's on purpose, just so you guys know. Let's see. Overgaze Gaming said, hey, Trev, so the moon landings are actually false and they've never actually really went to the moon, period. Love your channel. I don't know if they did at some point ever actually go to the moon. Maybe they sent probes there or whatever. I'm sure they sent, robotic equipment there, computers and whatnot. I don't know if an actual person has ever stepped foot on the moon. I would think that they probably have not, because I think you would die. I don't think you could actually practically do it, because the temperature on the moon varies depending on where you are with no atmosphere by hundreds of degrees in certain spots. So you go into a shady, let's say, type of part or part that's lower, you'll be hundreds of degrees lower. And then if you go into a part that's near the sun with no atmosphere or in the light, you'll be hundreds of degrees higher. So it's very likely that you could not do it even if you wanted to in a suit, because your suit would light on fire or it would freeze as you're doing. I'm serious, as you're doing it. So it's very possible that you actually couldn't do the whole one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. I'm walking around on the moon. I'm playing golf on the moon. I'm driving around in a moon rover. It's very likely that the temperature, changes would fry you. You would die. So you could send some kind of equipment that's temperature, able to deal with those temperature changes. But it's very likely that with no atmosphere, you would not be able to walk around yourself without lighting on fire or without, blowing up or without your equipment or whatnot freezing. That's computers. I'm an A+ certified, Network Plus certified, CCNA, Bachelor's of Computer Science, computer guy. And basically one of the easiest things to know why your computer fries most of the time, it's usually temperature. Temperature often, if you have a hardware problem with a computer, and I know this from doing over 60,000 repairs and cases, if the temperature of the system gets too high and it overheats, it'll fry. So if you're talking about changes in hundreds of degrees, as an engineer from a computer science engineering perspective, your equipment, it's bad enough for your equipment to try to sustain that. And most of the time, if your computer overheats and fries or whatever, a lot of times the air ducts could just be could be clogged and things like this. Just overheating basically is like the most common cause of hardware failure in computer equipment. But people are the same, man. You put a person in an environment where the temperature goes like this, depending on where they are. Like if you walk over here, it's below. If you walk over there, it's this high. It's not practical. So that it doesn't make sense. People are going to die. So you could say because they knew people were going to die, they filmed it. And then maybe you say, okay, maybe they did it anyway, but they didn't have someone go out and walk around. You could say that if you want to, but the footage we're shown is definitely fake. There's no question about it. So Daryl Dixon says, I've been on the moon. So again, please don't delete my channel, YouTube gods. Rothschilds and Mr. Burns, please leave me alone. All right. I'll stop talking about you if you want. But, I'm just answering what people are asking me here about the moon thing. That's all. So when did Joe Rogan sell out? Joe Rogan is a goat. Joe Rogan is a goat. When September 11th happened, maybe I could do an independent video on this one. When September 11th happened, Bush was reading My Pet Goat to the kids. Look it up on Google. He was reading My Pet Goat. Now, again, what did I just say about the occult? In the occult, goats are traitors. Joe Rogan is a goat. You could say he's the greatest of all time. He's the greatest podcaster of all time. Sure, he's a goat in that way, but he's also a goat in the other way, to where he'll get serious about aliens. He'll get serious about Bigfoot and shit like that. That doesn't matter. Aliens kind of matters. Bigfoot doesn't matter that much. on a bigger scale, it's like, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? If it's real or it's not, it's probably not real, but who cares, right? But when it comes to these other things, he does a scary voice, and he does this, and he makes a mockery of it, and he acts like it's so ridiculous, except it's actually true. That's the thing. So that's what it is. So that's my opinion on Joe Rogan. I'm a huge Joe Rogan fan, but Joe Rogan is a goat, okay? He is a trait, just like Bush. He's a goat, my pet goat. Watch one. Hey, Joe, if you ever see this, when you start a podcast, can you buy the book, My Pet Goat, and you can just read it as an Easter egg from me? I'd appreciate it, brother. It'd be cool. I'd geek out if you did that. Buy My Pet Goat and just have it on set with you when you go to start a podcast. I'd appreciate it. Just give me that Easter egg. You don't have to respond to me. Just do that and I'll get it, okay? So I don't get you in trouble. So it's cool. So Matt Jackson, calm down, badass. Michael Jackson's another one that was in it too, right? In the Kardashians. What did they do? They sex changed. What's his name? The Jenner, right? They turned him into a girl, right? See, again, what did I tell you guys about what these guys do? They do all kinds of shit like this. It's just what it is. How do you know all this? Yo, I've known a lot of this stuff for a long time, but like Joe Rogan, I didn't want to tell you guys, but now I just don't give a shit. Because when COVID happened, I was like, well, F you guys, man. That's not cool. You know what I mean? Like, if it's natural, that's fine. But why does Bill Gates know all this shit? It's like, F you guys, man. Whatever, dude. I don't give a shit anymore. Fine, whatever. I'm so going to get deleted. I'm so going to get fucking deleted. Oh, man. Shit, guys, only a matter of time. It's been fun, guys. It's been fun. Charlie, 9/11 was a hoax. Well, it was a program to get the Middle East going. That's what it was. Anyway, why don't we do some Walking Dead stuff here to balance it out? I don't want to piss everybody off who's here for Walking Dead. Oh, here we got a good one. Land of Lincoln says, so I saw your pyramid video today. If Lucifer is at the top of the pyramid, where does God fit into the pyramid? Because I saw that religion was in the pyramid. This is what Bill says. Okay. In his book, Bill says, this is Bill Shepard, not Bill Gates. Bill Shepard says that God is in the hearts of the people. That's what he says. God is in the hearts of the people, and that's fine. I like how he says that. I think that makes a lot of sense. God is in the hearts of the people. You know, Jesus he's in your heart. That's where he is. But in terms of the money and in terms of the practical landscape and in terms of the contracts that some people sign, a lot of the people you guys see in entertainment, they've signed contracts. You know, he reveals in here that John Lennon and Paul McCartney signed contracts with, you know who. Okay, so if they did that, why do you think so many of the Beatles died at a young age? Or you know, you had George Harrison was attacked in his home by a satanic crazy guy, right? MK Ultra satanic guy, and fought him to the death, and then got cancer later where he was stabbed. I think he stabbed in the lungs or somewhere like this. And him and his wife were able to fight the guy off, and he only survived for a couple years after, and then died. So Bill Shepard says Lucifer's at the top. Lucifer rules the world. That's what he says. So what I did is I rejected that at first. I was like, no, that can't be true. I didn't want to hear that. I didn't want to hear that Lucifer was at the top was the eye in the pyramid. He's the top dog. I didn't want to hear that, or at least that the people at the top worship him or her, it, or whatever. I didn't want to hear that. I rejected that. And then I started looking around and back testing it. And I thought, holy shit, you know, you see Lady Gaga and she's got fucking gear on and all this shit. You see these other people. Now, why the artists are important is because they're culture creation. Jay-Z hanging out with Marina Abramovic, looking in her eyes like this, like whatever. And they're like this, and she's doing some kind of witch ceremony with him or whatever. Why is that? It's because Bill's actually just telling the truth. That's the way the pyramid works. At the top, it goes from them, as I said in the video, to the supernatural element. And they don't worship Yahweh. They don't worship God like a lot of us, we look to Jesus Christ. If we say it's real, then we say Jesus is what it is. They don't. They've inverted that, and they look at the serpent as the light bearer, as the giver of knowledge, and God as having sort of left us out to dry, left us hung out to dry. That's what they say. So I back tested it, and it fits. It fits everything I see in entertainment. Everything I see in entertainment, it fits. So there it is. That's what it is. So also, you know, this buys into Walking Dead because part of why I even named season 11 with the channel New World Order is because the trade volume that we're seeing right now in the Walking Dead TV series is called New World Order. Now, I don't think Kirkman knows half of the stuff I just explained to all you guys in the last month or two about what New World Order actually is. But he named it New World Order, so that's what I'm going with for it, New World Order. That's what I've named this season of the channel. I won't always focus on this stuff so much, but because it's, you know, the title of the season and it's the title of what we're getting into with Walking Dead now, I decided I would dig into it a little bit more. So, you know, like when a lot of you guys see a lot of suspicious suicides and music and stuff like that, because Lucifer, Satan is a musician, right? Isn't that the way it goes in Hollywood? I'm not that great at the religious stuff because I'm not that into it. But so there's a lot of people in music that sign contracts and die young. It's not all just overdosing and stuff like that. Sometimes they sign a certain contract and their number gets pulled. Or you have a guy like Michael Jackson and they turn him in. They turn can I say masculine? Maybe Michael Jackson was never that masculine, but he was a admirable African-American performer. And they basically over time turned him into a white lady. Back tested. Yeah, they did. They took Caitlyn Jenner as a masculine Olympic guy, and they turned him into a girl. The handlers turned him into a girl. Back test that with who's at the top of the pyramid. Which one fits? Go ahead. Take your time. I'm just giving you the information. Spend the next couple of years and ask yourself who's at the top of this hierarchy. and see which one it goes with when you're watching your news and your entertainment and you're seeing your celebrities and you're seeing what they do. Back test it and see if I'm wrong. See if Bill Shepard's wrong, because he knows he's been. Look at how many awards Paul McCartney has been given. Look at Obama and the way he's in awe when he's around Paul McCartney. And Paul McCartney comes and sings Michelle at the White House and stuff like that, or wherever he performed that. Maybe it wasn't the White House, but wherever that was. Jared Gross says, thanks for all the videos, man. They're changing the way I view the world, to be honest. So thank you, Jared. Yeah, I'm glad I can do that for you, man. Just take what I said and, take it forward for the next few years. And when you're watching the news and you're watching, your entertainment and your award shows and your award ceremonies and all your stuff, back test what I'm telling you and see if I'm lying to you. See if what I'm saying to you doesn't ring true with where you see the world go in the next 10 to 20 years. Just see if what I'm telling you doesn't. See if it becomes a more Christian type of landscape, or if, like Bill said, the Illuminati is at war with Christianity, so they're promoting anti-Christian doctrines through the media, the news, and entertainment. See if it doesn't become more Luciferian as time goes on. I already know where it's going to go, but you watch and you see where it goes. You'll find out. You'll see. Give it time. All right, let's switch the subject a little bit, right? Trev, point at the camera if you're being kidnapped. No, I'm not being kidnapped. Not yet. Eventually, I keep talking. I'm going to get myself in trouble. It's going to happen. Matt Jackson said, rip Andrew Lincoln, can't believe it. Shut up, would you? Don't make up bullshit. Andrew Lincoln's fine, I'm sure. What do you mean? I'm not. That's bullshit, man. People say some stupid. Oh, come on. Don't say stuff like that, man. That's not cool. Okay, let's see here. All right, what else we got? Aside from people saying stupid stuff. Andrew Lincoln's fine. Rick Grimes is fine. Don't say that. I'm sure he's fine. How do you find the new gun control in Canada? So there was. Do you guys know about what happened here in Nova Scotia? There was a mass shooting, and they banned like all kinds of assault rifles and guns and all that. How do I feel about that? Well, I'm kind of in the middle on it. I'm kind of okay that they banned, AR-15 assault rifles and stuff like this that could kill massive amounts of people. I'm okay with that. But I do know that a lot of people love their guns. They love to go hunting and they love to do that as well. The problem is that you get a few crazies that come out with guns and blow everybody away, and it's hard for the cops to take them down and everything, and it gets ugly, right? So then you've got the conspiratorial angle, which is that a lot of these shootings and stuff are manufactured so that, you can get people to vote away the gun control. I don't know. I'm not into it too much. Maybe some of them are manufactured. Maybe some of them aren't. The one in Nova Scotia, I don't think it is to start with, because, they shut the world down, which means that people are, guys don't have function. And when guys don't have function, they act out. That's just what happens. Men need function. Men need work. If they don't have function, if they don't have work, they become, rebellious. And that's where criminal activity comes from. Criminal activity goes down with the employment rate. If people are employed, they don't break the law. If they're unemployed or they get laid off for long periods of time, they start doing illegal activity like that. So it's just like whatever. Trev, what do you think happened to DB Cooper? Are you talking about Bill Cooper or are you talking about someone else? I'm not sure what you mean by DB Cooper. Maybe I'm out of the loop on that one. I don't know everything. So Ryan K says, Trev, you actually think Paul McCartney is a different person than he started out at? Come on, you can't be serious. Not only do I think that he actually is. And the easiest way for me to answer this for you is Paul's eyes are brown, bro. The real Paul, the original biological Paul, his eyes were brown. It's all explained in the book. Just read the book, man. If you haven't looked into this at all, then to you that sounds crazy, right? But the thing is he actually was. That's the sad part. Again, I looked into this for about maybe 4 or 5 years. It wasn't until I read the book, and I read it through about twice or 3 times, that I got to understand exactly what it means. Yeah, no, Rye, I'm serious, bro. I'm actually serious with you, man. He actually was. You need to look into this, man. Because if you think I'm lying to you, think I'm messing with you, Rye, I'm not kidding you, man. He actually was, dude. The book explains it, man. And so did all the interviews and all of the music videos and everything. Go into it. He was, man. There's a reason why his eye color is different. There's a reason why his teeth are different. His palette of his teeth are actually different. Because you can't change certain things with your teeth without heavy orthodontics. You have to have braces to widen your palette of your teeth you need things like braces or retainers or things like that, or surgery. And without doing that, you can't easily branch out your palate for your teeth. Bill's palate is wider. He's also bigger. His head's bigger. His body's bigger. And Paul was a little bit smaller than him. His teeth were closer, more. His palate was smaller. They were more crammed. His ears are also different. The shape of his ears are different. Bill has fillers in his face to fill his face out, so it looks kind of the same as Paul. Anyway, it's loaded. Watch the video if you want to see it, but I actually know that to be true. Did you know Bill Gates is transgender? No, I didn't hear that one, Aiden. I don't think that's true. I haven't looked at that. I have to look into that to see if that's actually true. Let's see what we got here. Any questions about Walking Dead? Mason Coolness says 33rd degree son of the Mason. There's our 32nd degree Master Mason who's here. That's cool. Hey, man. Yeah, Coolness. Yeah, it actually, I got to admit that the Masons are actually kind of cool. I'll give you that, brother. Masons are actually kind of cool. I actually like the way they use their Easter eggs and they do things like that for each other. And then other people don't get it. I actually think it's fun. Bill's a Mason. He was what degree? Well, he would have moved up into the Illuminated degrees. So Bill was a Mason, a high-ranking Mason to start with, and then has moved up a lot since then. Now he's, uber, famous, and he's gotten all the knightings and awards and whatever, MBEs and all the good stuff. Yeah. So no, I think Bill Gates is a guy. I don't think that's true that he's trans. There are some people that are trans, there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't think Bill Gates is. Michelle Obama is a good one where people bring that up, that she could be a man. That could be very offensive if she isn't. So I got to be careful with that. But is Bill Gates a woman? No, I don't think so. You're kind of being a jerk for calling him that. I would not insult Bill Gates. Okay, he is uber powerful. I would not mess with him. He seems to me to be at the head of the whole COVID operation 100%, especially since Fauci's talking with him on a daily basis. And then Fauci's advising Trump. I would not mess with Bill Gates right now. Not at all. Not a good idea. Yeah. Billy had plastic surgery. Yeah. Billy had a lot of plastic surgery. He did. Yeah. No, we're not talking Bill Gates here. We're talking Bill Shepard. Bill Shepard had a lot of plastic surgery done to look more like Paul. He still doesn't really look like Paul. Not at all. Not really. They changed the older pictures, though. Have you guys seen that? They go to Google and they actually change the eye color. And they change the shape of younger Paul's face, and then they re-upload it. They do reverse. What do they call that? When you go into history and you change the stuff, and then to make it fit the narrative after. Yeah. So if you watch some of the music videos and you stick to the covers, you'll get a better idea of what the original biological Paul actually did look like. Let's see here. High-ranking Masons are Satanists who rape children and sacrifice children. American women. I don't know. I tend to think not all Masons are bad. I understand there's the Pizzagate situation, all that stuff, and that there's a lot to that. And that absolutely sucks. And it's disgusting and despicable and disgraceful and all that stuff. Jebediah Gaming, do you think Bill is crazy for pretending to be Paul this long? Yes, he is. He is actually a little bit crazy. I have to admit that. He's kind of cool, though, too. And I actually kind of like him. But he is crazy to a degree. Yeah, I think so. Here's the two Ps, the two Pauls, right? Well, he's been Paul longer than the original one was Paul. So it's a character, though. Reaching for masks on the back, reaching for the characters. It's a character. So, but yeah, he is a bit crazy. Paul is Dead is crazy. To keep putting all these different things in over and over again, backwards, like over and over and over again. It's just, man, that shit will drive you crazy. I wonder why just the whole Paulism thing is really dark to me. It's really crazy, man. Let it be, he be dead, right? He be dead, he be dead, he be dead. It's so weird, man. The backwards thing is just a trip, dude. The way they do everything backwards like that is really, really weird. It just trips me out, man. Connor has a Walking Dead comment, which is great. He says, Trev, I really like what they did with Dante on The Walking Dead. Yeah, I like what they did with Dante too, man. That was great. The way they had him end up being a villain when you thought he was that. Okay, 32nd degree son of a Mason. We got a Masonic comment here. We got a Mason here, a Master Mason. Okay, what do you say, Master Mason? I don't even know what your first name is. I guess it doesn't matter. I saw a clip of the CDC scene, and if you look at the clip of the virus that causes the walkers to reanimate, it just looks like COVID-19. Check it out, bro. I'll have to check it, man. I don't know if they put, any Easter eggs in Walking Dead at all, or if Walking Dead has anything to do with it. I don't think it does, but you could say it's like pre-programming, conditioning people to get ready for some kind of end of the world scenario. But it's not on NBC or CBS or one of these things. Janie wants to know, so what happened to the actual biological Paul? Well, he signed a satanic contract with John Lennon. And if you enter into a satanic contract and you sign, your number could be up anytime. And so his number was called. You say yes, and I say no. You say stop, and I say go, go, go. So Bill replaced him. It's a replacement song, right? Is what that song is. So Bill replaced him. He wouldn't go along with what the pyramid wanted, so he was out. Culture creation works like that. If you don't go along with if Jay-Z all of a sudden went along and decided that every song they did was going to be religious in favor of Jesus walks, like Kanye's song and that stuff, then he would be out on his ass pretty quick. The Rockefellers would call and be like, "Why do you keep doing this shit? Don't you know what the plan is? What the hell are you doing?" And he'd be taken out right away if he didn't. Let's see here what we got. We shouldn't talk about Pizzagate at all, man. Blazing, it's too dark. It's way too dark to talk about it. What if I'm wrong? Oh, hey, Jess is up. Want to say hi to everybody, hon? Are you dressed yet? They can hear you. Yeah, they can hear you. Let's see. They missed you today. They were all asking where you were. Jess is downstairs. Right, yeah, she's got her skin's itchy and stuff. She couldn't sleep, so it's cool. And you'll join us on Wednesday or next week. Did you guys? She said she loves you guys. I think you guys could hear that, right? They said, Dan Smith said, "What's up? What's up, Jess?" And then Blitz said, "Hello, Mrs. J." Nice. That's good. Yeah, is Paul McCartney Morales? That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah. No. Did you know George Harrison was a believer in Hare Krishna? Yeah, they did the song for Carlos. He did the song, and that's good. Yeah, they just got into something that they didn't fully understand. They just got into something to where it was like they didn't know what they were signing. Like with Paul and John, them signing the contract, they didn't know what they were signing for. They probably thought, "Oh, this is all nonsense. Whatever. Yeah, I'll sign. Whatever. Make me famous. Whatever." It's like, yeah, but man, yeah. Yeah, you dare speak ill of Bill Gates, someone said. 61X9 said that. Yeah, man, Bill Gates is pretty fearsome. He could send those. One of the conspiracy ideas? Someone said that Bill Gates couldn't keep viruses out of Windows, but now he wants to keep viruses out of people. That was Dr. Pitar said that. I like that. That's good. On London Real, he said that. That's really good. Do you think Morales is the creator of the Illuminati? No. Who created the Illuminati? It wasn't it a Rothschild? Ah, damn it. Yeah, I think it was one of the Rothschilds. I got to look back. I got to look at the history books and go through it. It's just the Rothschilds, man. It's just that's all it is, man. It's a pyramid with them at the top. That's all it is. Mr. Burns, that's all it is. That's all it is. It's just a group. Watch the video if you want to see it. Anyway, so all right. Do we have any other actual Walking Dead stuff? Because that's supposed to be what we're supposed to be talking about here. Did you watch Better Call Saul yet? I haven't seen it caught up yet, Bushido. Sorry, man. Not quite yet. And I haven't seen Ozark yet either. I want to watch it. I've been trying, but I haven't. Let's see. I think I prepared some Walking Dead questions here. And yes, just so you guys know, when Walking Dead returns to be on, we'll be making lots more Walking Dead videos again. Not so many of these type videos or talking about this kind of stuff so much, unless some major shit happens and some people start being shot and some civil unrest occurs and the vaccine goes crazy, and it becomes mandatory or whatnot. Let's see what happens with that. So, but we'll mainly go back to Walking Dead, as per usual again. So that's what it is. And not to offend anybody with the videos I did or anything like that. Tainted Meat said, this is prior, he had left a comment about this one, who said, theaters are in trouble anyway. They're rarely full, and it's been that way for a long time. Everything will probably be online and cable with our big TVs, so it's almost as good as a movie theater. Yeah, you might be right, Tainted Meat. We'll see how this whole thing kind of reverses when this is all done. And if the movie theater companies can stay in business in the next few years, because that's going to be the big question, is whether or not they can stay in business. You tend to think some of them will stay in business, but certainly ones that maybe didn't have some cash reserves will probably go under unless they get government bailouts. And the government can't bail out absolutely everybody. Hester says, please just stick to Walking Dead videos. So I'll try to stick more to Walking Dead content. I know you guys love it, so that's what we kind of try to stick to. Dominic Ambrosio asked me, what degree Freemason are you, Trev? You have a lot of knowledge about this stuff. You do, by the way. Awesome videos. Keep them coming. So I'm not a Freemason, just so you guys know. I'm not sworn in. I haven't taken any oaths. I don't have any buddies that have been passing me information. I'm not involved whatsoever with the Masons or the pyramid. I am basically someone on the outside who has spent a lot of time going through this stuff, combing through this stuff, buying their books, reading the information that they know, going through their information, and giving you guys some of the information that I can find from purchasing their stuff, basically, and watching videos and going through stuff about them and about their culture, about what they do, and about their influence on the world. That's what I've done, and I'm just sharing that information with you guys. But basically, I am not a Freemason, and I never will be. I'm not interested in joining or anything like that. And so I wouldn't want to be part of the pyramid myself either. I like to stay out of it and just kind of, maybe I'll do these videos to explain what it is and give my thoughts on it. But yeah, I would never join them or want to become one of them. I was raised sort of to be a good person and to be honest and to be all those things. And the deeper you get into the structure, the more dishonest and the more dark it becomes. Raf154 said, this is a scary damn topic. And yeah, man, it is effing scary, Raf. When you dig into how dark some of this shit is in our society and you start to see this stuff, once you wake up and you're illuminated, you can't really go back into the darkness after that. It's hard to take the blue pill and just go back to watching an award show the same way. When you watch an award show after you have this information, you don't see it the same way. You don't see Katy Perry's Dark Horse and these performances the same way, and your Madonnas and your P.L.A.s. You don't look at them the same way as you did when you learn about this type of thing on the inside. It's very scary, but it puts into context why people like a JFK was assassinated and you have these things happening. It's because what you're dealing with power struggles between people on the front and people in the shadows. It's very scary. It's more scary than The Walking Dead when you dig into it. And especially the way they celebrate it, like they celebrate the darkness stuff. Watch The Rotten Apple. If you guys haven't seen The Rotten Apple on YouTube, watch the Rotten Apple series. If that doesn't give you effing nightmares, I don't know what will. Listen to the number 9 backwards when Yoko Ono says, Satan, look at me. That's some freaky shit. That is freaky. After you guys are done watching this, if you want to have nightmares tonight, go on YouTube, type in the Beatles number 9 backwards and listen to it and try to discern what's actually being said in the songs. It is some scary effing shit, man. I mean, really scary shit. So that's part of the control mechanism too, is that people won't look at it because it's so dark that they want to stay out of it. So that's part of it too. Let's see. What age did I wake up? Project Nerdvana. I would say that I woke up on September 11th, 2001. That's the day I woke up. That was the day. Because I just said, there's no way. There's no way these Arabs, Al-Qaeda, these guys from freaking living in a goddamn cave could pull this operation off. There's just no freaking way. And then the buildings would explode after, and Building 7 would explode into its own footprint and all this stuff. There's just no way. I'd say that's the day I woke up, was the day I saw the most bullshit I've ever seen in my life and said, that's bullshit. And then Bush came out and said, oh, no, it was this person over here, this Osama guy. He did it. That was when I woke up, was when I saw that shit. And I was like, from an engineering mindset, an engineering type of logic, and I'm not a buildings engineer, structural engineer, but I'm a computer engineer. But just from a design and a building standpoint, looking at that, saying like those things were demolished, man. That wasn't just the planes. The planes hit them, but then they were blown up afterwards. Yeah, they were. And now it's how many years later? It's 2020, and I think the same thing. Christopher Boland's done some good work on that. If you guys want to look into that, just watch Christopher Boland's work on September 11th. He'll go through everything with you. You'll understand it all afterwards, basically. Robert Frank, thanks for the contribution, Robert. Appreciate it, man. Trev, why do people make the biggest deal about the most of uneventful characters in The Walking Dead? Morales, Heath, Sherry, etc. Do you think it's trolling, or do you think people genuinely give a damn? It's mostly trolling, Robert. Yeah, like Morales. It's mostly a troll joke thing is why they mostly do it. But you're right, they are the most uneventful characters. And, I think everybody misses Rick. We all want to see Rick back. But, you're absolutely right that they do. Or Heath, for example. Yeah, or Sherry. Well, it'd be good to see Sherry and Dwight reunited again, because that's going to be like a romantic thing to see them back. It'll be good to see Michonne and Rick reunited. But as far as like Heath goes, I think, maybe they could bring Corey Hawkins back in as Heath and do something with him in the movies or something, because they're going to need some supporting characters for Rick and the others. So maybe we could see that. But I guess when people go missing, it just pisses people off and they want to see them return, or they want to see them come back at some point. Yeah. So, we'll do the Paul McCartney video soon, guys. I'll repost it for you guys soon, and we'll dig into that a bit. It's really fun. And the best part about it is it'll really wake you up a lot if you see it. If you can start to discern the difference between the two, and I'll try to show you as best as I can in a short period of time, the difference between the two, you'll really realize that there is a satanic controlling infrastructure behind the entertainment industry and behind governments too. It's pervasive. It's the octopus's garden. It stretches into a lot of different things, politics, others as well. I'm not sure their stance on Trump, though. If you watch CNN, it seems like they don't like Trump very much, or at least they like to haze him. It's sort of like they're hazing Trump. They did that to Bill Clinton, too, right? They hazed Clinton with Monica Lewinsky. They hazed him. They just made a mockery of him. There's also one, too, where there's a video you can watch online. Bush and Clinton are shaking hands with these guys in a third world country, and one of them was really sweaty, and he shaked Bush's hand, George Jr., and so after George Bush got the guys, the sweaty guys, sweat all over his hands, he went behind Bill Clinton and he wiped his hands on the back of Clinton's shirt. He wiped off the guy's sweat on the back of his shirt. Now that tells you about a pecking order. You see in the structure I showed you guys earlier today, the pyramid structure, Bill Clinton is lower than Bush. So he's an underling of Bush. So Bush can go behind him and wipe his sweaty hands on his shirt, and it ain't no big deal because Bush is higher in the pyramid than he's still a pet goat, but he's higher than Bill Clinton is in the pyramid, you see. So my grandfather was a Freemason, says Jay. So Jay, are you a Freemason? Because usually if your dad is one, you usually go into it. Did they decide that you wouldn't go into it? Did you decide not to go into it? Why didn't you continue with it? Why didn't you join the club, brother? Carlos says that Mike McCartney, Paul's brother, never talks about the conspiracy. That's right. And a lot of the people in and around it died. Heather Mills did a rant on a news station where she said that something so terrible happened, none of you would ever believe it, and she has a box of evidence. If anything happens to her, the box of evidence will be released. So that's a threat to the pyramid. You can watch that it's on YouTube. You can watch that clip of her going at it on the news thing, being very nervous and shit like that, because she knows that that a lot of the people in and around the replacement were killed. It was probably too much hassle to do. I don't think they do replacements anymore. But they might do gender swapping. So, so there's that. They do that. So if I ever show up wearing a wig and turn into a woman or something, you guys know what happened. They got to me. So they wanted to make an example out of me. Yeah, that's what it is. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Okay. The Clintons are sloppy with their, what did he say here? The Clintons are sloppy with their murders, though. Yeah, the Clintons are sloppy with their murders. And I'm really glad Hillary did not get in, actually. I am shocked that she didn't. But I don't know what would have happened with Iran if Hillary would have gotten in. That might be a war right now. Iran war might be going on right now if Hillary had gotten in. Because the Clintons are in with the pyramids so tight. It's unreal, man. They really are. So did you guys go through the WikiLeaks? Hillary Clinton's WikiLeaks? Guess what I did? I took the WikiLeaks. Oh, wait. Did they say it's illegal to go into the WikiLeaks? Yeah, they did. I can't even tell you. Anyway, there's some stuff in there for Rothschilds. Look through the WikiLeaks, do a search for Rothschild. You'll see her talking with some of the Rothschilds in her email. Yeah, you're not supposed to go through. I mean, someone told me that. I didn't look at them myself because I guess it's illegal to look at the WikiLeaks now. I don't know. Chris, I'm not American, by the way, so whatever. Chris Butteraco says, thanks for the super chat, Chris. He said, what do you think about the Chris Benoit tragedy and CT brain damage stuff? That's a really brutal one, Chris. So if you guys don't know what happened with Chris Benoit, he was a wrestler and he had brain damage, and they say he went crazy and he killed his wife and his son and himself, which is really brutal. It really sucks. Yeah, I mean, with that one, I don't have enough to say that it is a conspiracy, but I did think there was some suspicious stuff about the toxicology in that. I think somebody had, there were some reports on that. I can't speak to it on the top of my head right now. I'd have to comb through it first to present that to you. But is it possible that it was staged and that somebody actually, like there was a satanic kind of murder there, planned murder there, and then killed the boy and killed him and then did that? It's possible. But the other thing, too, is that the wrestlers get brain damage because he did this move. Bret Hart, huge fan. I'm Canadian, so Bret Hart's like a hero to me growing up, and to a lot of people here. If you guys don't know, like Hogan too. Hulk Hogan's also like a hero to a lot of us too, of the 80s and 90s. Bret Hart as well. Bret Hart had said, "You try going up on that turnbuckle and doing the head dive that he did." Every wrestling mats are not that forgiving. They're actually pretty hard. They're like wood. They're like wood planks or something like this. They're not like a mattress or something. They're actually pretty stiff. So he jumps off and he hits it. And so is the stream down? Can you guys hear me? Can you let me know? Anyway, he jumps off and he hits it. And so it caused him to get brain damage. So that's what happened. So do we still have 212 people here? Are they going to shut down the stream? Let's see here. Are we back? Now I can hear. Okay, we're back. We're okay. Maybe we just had a little bit of lag there for a second. But anyway, he got brain damage, and the official story goes that he killed his wife and his kid and himself, which is absolutely horrendously tragic and sucks really bad. And it makes sense that with brain damage severe like that, you could do something like that, and steroids mixed in there too, that it could happen. So is what it is. Yeah, so it looks like the stream's okay now, so that's okay. We're going to be able to keep going for a little while longer here. So best wrestler of all time. Yeah, Chris Benoit was actually a great wrestler. If it's true what they say, what the cops say that he did, then that's brutal. But I understand if anybody thinks that wasn't the case and that he was actually killed, because when you're in the wrestling business, you do make enemies with a lot of people. So is it possible that maybe he could have made enemies with someone and they could have exacted some kind of revenge against him? Also possible, but very possible that it was from the brain damage. Okay, David W. says, Trev, why do you think The Walking Dead when AMC is why do you like The Walking Dead when AMC is directly connected to the Illuminati? David, where did you hear that AMC is like an Illuminati network? I don't believe that it really is. I don't think that's true. It's not like NBC or CNN or one of these things which is so blatantly obviously connected to the agendas that the families want that it's unbelievable. AMC's not like that. So why do I like Walking Dead? I love Walking Dead. Walking Dead is based on a comic book by Robert Kirkman, who probably doesn't know anything about any of this stuff. And most of the people at AMC don't know anything about any of this stuff. Most of them don't. And they especially don't know that a lot of it's actually true and real. That they especially don't know. They just think it's conspiracy theory nonsense. They don't know it's actually real, like it's actually legit. They don't know the Rothschilds actually own the fucking world. They don't know that. So, or at least own a few countries. Let's say at least one country. Because they created it. So there you go. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Jay, did you get back to me on why you're not a Freemason if your grandfather was? Because you're supposed to be. They even did that in The Simpsons. In The Simpsons, there's an episode where Homer wants to join the Stonecutters, which are just the Masons. And they have a song that they do as well, too. And then Grandpa, or his dad, Grandpa Simpson, says, I'm a member. And then that means that Homer can join if he's a member. Yeah, if your dad's a Freemason, you can become a Freemason. So Jay said, Twin Barrow, I don't know what that means, but why didn't you join, man? Why don't you join the club? You're not, that's why I'm dark. I don't know what you're saying here, Jay, but African, Brit, Jamaican. Okay, so you're, okay, that's cool. But why didn't you join if you wanted to be, if he was, why didn't you? It could be a good opportunity for you. You could make a bunch of money. Warren Buffett's a Freemason. Bill Gates is also a Freemason. They're like best buds too, those two guys. I believe they're both 33rd degrees. Let's see. Okay. Trev, speak on Tupac. Mark Henry. Well, I don't know too much about Tupac, Mark, but I know a lot of you guys love Tupac from the 90s and whatnot. I actually like his music. I do. I think he's great. And he did some Machiavelli stuff and things like that. I think Tupac, to a degree, was involved with these types of forces. Yeah. To how much did he sign a satanic contract? I don't know if he signed a contract or not. Was he taken out, or was the death, some kind of gang violence or some kind of thing that happened there? Maybe, but I'd have to look into it more to give a more solid opinion. But that fits in place with. There's so many young deaths for these types of people. There's so many. It's really astounding when you look at it. Because again, those contracts, that's the way it goes. So if he did sign that kind of contract, hey man, if you sign that contract, you get paid, you get your money, you get your spotlight, but you sign that contract, you don't know, if you sign a satanic contract, you don't know what they might do with you or when your number might be up. You don't know. So it could be any time. So let's see. Okay. Just trying to find any Walking Dead comments here. Okay. So Connor said that, Trev, I truly think Walking Dead is the best show in decades. Yeah, I think it's the best show that's been on in decades too. I love the Walking Dead universe. I love the original Walking Dead. I also like Fear 2. It's great. I'm looking forward to World Beyond, and I'm looking forward to seeing the Rick movie, even if it's on Premiere or whatever they do. It's great stuff. So I am looking forward to it heavily. And it should be good, man. Anton Zrazos says, how do you think Rick would deal with the Whisperers? Well, I think he would deal with the Whisperers much in the way they have, which is, similar maybe with Negan in that, where at first they don't try to fight back against them, but then eventually they have to. It would have been cool to see him do some scenes with Samantha Morton, with Alpha, and to see them go at it. But they did it sort of with Daryl and Carol instead, which it worked out pretty good anyway. So, it's cool. So it's what it is. Let's see what else we got here. Who really is they for Patarina 1959? I explained it, or maybe she was referring to someone else. But when I refer to the pyramid as they, I'm referring to the video that I did, which is good. I'm going to reference it back a lot for the Pyramid of Power. That's who, when I say they or the elites, that's who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about some guy down the street that's a dentist that is a millionaire or something like that. I'm not talking about guys like that. I'm talking about the heavy hitters, the pyramid. When I say they, that's who I'm referring to. But again, they're not connected to everything. They probably have nothing to do with anything on AMC or in the wrestling industry. Well, they did do the New World Order. They're right here, the New World Order storyline, NWO. I got an NWO title there too. So they did that, and they inverted Hogan. So they took Hogan from the greatest hero in wrestling of the 80s, and they turned him into a villain. They turned him into Hollywood Hogan, which again, that's the same thing as the same culture, the same theme as you see over and over again. Eric Bischoff says that it had nothing to do with actual connection there, but Ted Turner owned that, and he started CNN, right? So there's your connection right there. I don't know if it is or not. I don't know, but I tend to think it probably is a New World Order representation in wrestling, which was popular at that time. For another Easter egg type of deal, which they constantly like to do. Let's see here. All right, I'm gonna see if there's any other good comments that I had kind of prepped ahead of time. Let's see. Season 5, Walking Dead has gone downhill. Okay. Hey Zim, how you doing? There's some new people joining here, but Hester's gonna get mad at me because he said just stick to Walking Dead. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay. This is a good question for David Icke. I want to ask you guys too. Do you guys know who David Icke is? Because I did that video today, but I don't know if a lot of you guys know who David Icke actually is. So let me give that to you guys. Do you guys know who David Icke is? Could you answer that to me before we go into this question? Kinar Kemp says, Trev, freedom of speech is an illusion. Yes, it is. one of John Lennon's songs I was listening to the other day, it says, when I was younger, living the illusion of freedom. And that's right. When you're younger, you believe the world is a certain way, and you live an illusion of freedom. You're free to a degree, but there's certain lines that you can't cross into, and if you do, you're gonna get smacked down, and that's what happens. But yeah, do you guys know who David Icke is? The Walking Dead had left a comment before he unsubscribed, and by the way, that's cool. Like, if you guys, I appreciate you guys subscribing. I appreciate you guys sticking with me. For the people who are hardcore Walking Deadists and they don't want to talk about anything but Walking Dead, I hope you stick with me. If you don't want to, that's fine. You can come back maybe when COVID's over and Walking Dead's back on and whatever if you want to. But The Walking Dead is the YouTube name for this person who said, have you ever thought that maybe David Icke was banned because he was spreading misinformation that could actually hurt people who sheepishly believe in theories like 5G and that COVID was man-made in a lab? So have we thought that, okay, so most people said no, they don't know who David Icke is. Most people don't. Okay, so I did a video on that earlier today with him being banned. Thanks, Jay. We'll get into your question in a minute. So David Icke was banned, and so Walking Dead here is saying that, do you think he could have just been banned because of the content of the message that he was saying? So because he was saying that COVID, he was denying COVID. He was a COVID denier, or he is a COVID denier, to say that he does not believe COVID is as dangerous as the media is making it out to be. Okay, so he has his reasons for believing that. I don't actually agree with him in that case. I don't think that that's true. I think that COVID is real and it is out there and it is very dangerous. Is it as dangerous as the media makes it out to be? You could argue that one way or another, but I think it is real. I'm not a COVID denier. So I don't agree with him on all points with everything he says and all the ideas he has. The 5G question, I guess the theory is something to do with that 5G and these 5G cell towers. Somehow they emit some kind of radiation, or they do something with the hertz that causes people's immune systems to be weakened, something like this. And there's a lot of studies about that. I haven't looked into that one too much myself. I don't know, and I probably won't, because it sounds like it's kind of, you're not allowed to talk about it, one of those things. So you're not allowed to say that COVID isn't real, or that it's a hoax or something. So you're not allowed to say that, or you could get banned, and you're not allowed to make a connection between 5G and COVID. Okay, so you're not allowed to do those things, or YouTube and the others will ban you. Okay, cool, got that. So with what The Walking Dead is saying here, is it possible that he was banned because these ideas are actually, could actually hurt people and make people take COVID less seriously and go out there and not wear masks and go out there and actually catch it, if as many people have it as they say have it? Yeah, so that is a possibility, right? That they would have removed him because of the things he was saying were dangerous for people to actually think that way. But here's the thing. You're attacking freedom of thought when you do that. You're attacking freedom of speech, and you're putting it into, a situation where people are not allowed to have their own opinion, and they're not allowed to speak their own opinion if they're backing it up by facts and if it's their opinion. I view it as we're all entitled to our own opinion. If you're not directly hurting others, they're able to make their own decisions as adults and decide to do what they want to do. And for you to say, well, his followers are going to believe him and then they're going to go and endanger themselves, that's up to them if they want to believe a certain thing or not. That's their decision. That's not something that you should ban someone's life work online for and really do that. And if you look up David Icke, it says that he's anti-Semitic, and it says these other things about him, which to me just is basically to where he's anti-pyramid and he's going against the pyramid, and he's the front-running guy in the world against the pyramid, and he just so happens to be deplatformed from YouTube and Facebook due to something he said. Well, he says all kinds of things that are controversy and always has. The thing is that why he's actually being banned, to me, feels more like, okay, let's say this is, again, let's go into the coincidence idea, right? You're against the powers that be, you're against the pyramid, and you happen to get banned by a think tank, which if you watch my video on the pyramid, you'll see the think tanks are near the top. The Committee of 300 and the think tanks are around the hierarchy just below the 13. So it's, to me, more likely that he was against the pyramid So they got something on him. They used that as a reason, and they were able to talk YouTube and Facebook into shutting him down. That's what happened to me. Now I understand that it could be a bit. You could be right that it could be dangerous to do that, and I don't do that because I don't want my viewers to go out there and not wear masks and think it's no big deal. I encourage you guys to wear masks. I encourage you guys to stay safe. And I don't know much about the 5G theory or idea. I don't know much about it, so I don't speak to that. But it's possible that that's the case. But it's more likely to me that when you have someone who's in opposition to the pyramid, they just happen to get taken out here or there or whatever. Alex Jones to Sandy Hook, get him out of here. After he said after he had helped get Trump elected, they did that to him to get him out, right? So because he was influencing too many people, and he helped Trump get in office because there was millions of people that watched his interviews and stuff with Trump, promoting Trump and supporting Trump. Millions of people could have been swayed by him into voting for Trump. So it was just a matter of time till they got something on him and they took him out. Ike is also opposed to the pyramid. So eventually he says something that is whatever, and they use that against him and they take him out, right? That's just what you would expect to see when you defy the powers that be. When you defy the pyramid, sooner or later, they're going to get something on you and they're going to get you out. And guys, I've worked in management for many years. I've got many years of supervisory and management experience. I've seen sometimes some things, and I certainly cannot mention anyone's name or companies or anything, but certainly you've all seen something where maybe a manager or an owner or someone in particular just has it out for somebody, and they find something on him and they get rid of him. That's exactly what you see. If you go against the Rothschilds, they label you an anti-Semitist, and then they find something on you and they take you out. And that's what they're going to do. What else would you expect? So yeah, for sure. Jay just joined and he said, this stream, Ozark update, what's your favorite C character of all time on The Walking Dead? Okay. So thanks, Jay. Welcome to the stream. We're still going. It's about 11 o'clock now. We'll go a little bit longer here until my voice cops out on me. But Ozark update. I watched the trailer. I'm going to watch the first episode. I'll write it down for tonight. And maybe me and Jess will watch it later. And then maybe I can do a review of the first episode or something of Ozark, because I know you like it a lot. And so I feel like I kind of owe it to you to at least watch it and do a review for the premiere episode. I know a lot of you guys like Ozark, so I'll have to check it out. But who's your favorite C character of all time on Walking Dead? Is Morales a C character? I don't know. I like Morales a lot because of you guys and just making it a fun thing. Let's see. Who else is like a C character? I like Tara a bit. I thought she was pretty good. She kind of moved up from a C character to like a B, or eventually, can I say an A character? Well, maybe sort of. She got her own episode with swear in that, but it wasn't well received. Is Merle? No, Merle's not a C character. Was Glenn at one time a C character? He moved up higher, but Glenn's one of my favorite kind of C-ish type characters, supporting type characters. Yeah, there's lots of them. And then at one time, Daryl was probably a C character in the background there at a time, and he moved up too. So I hope that's good for you, Jay. I hope that makes sense for you. Who else is there? There's some other good C characters too, like more background-ish characters. I actually like Tobin. I like Scott. Let's see. Jesus was good. He was kind of lesser. Aaron's been good, and he's going to move up to, I think, to the higher amount. So Novak says about David Icke, the reptilians. So I'm not in agreement with him about the reptilians. Yeah, he's got some ideas, but, I don't know. Maybe he has his reasons for believing that. They certainly are smart as hell. That's for sure. They are like otherworldly smart. I can tell you that. Like the way they have you guys read the Protocols of Zion? And the way they have it structured, it's a trip when you read it through. It's basically how to control people. And by using the press, you can literally destroy them. So like someone like a Bill Cosby, if Bill Cosby defied the pyramid, and then you get all these girls to come out and make him look like he's like this super villain type of predator guy, which maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, I don't know. But basically through defamation and through news propaganda, defamatory info, you can control people's behavior. Anyway, it's a whole protocol. So you guys can read the whole thing. And I believe it is formed by a Rothschild too, as well. And that's not a anti-Semitic thing. I actually might be a little bit Jewish. I'm actually, I think, a quarter Jewish, or like an eighth Jewish or something like that. I'm mostly English. So I'm a Harris, which means that I'm English, but I have one grandparent that's part Jewish. So yeah, so there's a little bit in there. So don't you dare call me anti-Semitist. Basically, that's not at all what this is. but I have read the Protocols of Zion. I have understood some of the things that they use, the controlling metrics that they use, and they're very smart, man. They are otherworldly smart. They are. So that's what it is. You want to control people, using the press is a good way to do it, because you just write whatever news articles you want and just defame the hell out of them. And, it's like, what are you going to do? Well, you can't do anything. Literally mind control. That's what the news is, literally mind control. You want everyone to think Bill Cosby is some kind of super predator guy. You can make that happen, whether he is or he isn't. I don't know if he is or he isn't. I have no idea. But what I'm saying is that you could actually manufacture something like that with the news control, because you can hire all these girls to act like he did something, have them all come out and go after him. And maybe he did. And maybe he is what they say he is, and it's legitimate news. But if you actually control the news, you could destroy people, literally destroy them. Yeah, they'll come for you, Diana. Yeah, I know. It's just a matter of time. Sage Bondcast says, freedom. Yeah, I guess so. Sort of. It's what we live in, freedom. I don't know. David says COVID-19 was manufactured, says Slinky. Yeah, that's his opinion, that it's a global program. Yeah, I don't know if we can freely talk about that anymore on the internet. Can we? I don't know, man. It's kind of up in the air. I want to watch his thing with Brian that he did earlier today on London Real. I got to check that out. I haven't seen it yet. So, but I do support David Icke, and I support freedom of thought and freedom of information. So, and people being able to think for themselves, and determine their own, as long as they're not hurting others, then that's fine. And I think we're all adults here. If someone decides not to wear a mask and not to take COVID seriously, that's their decision. People are allowed to have their own opinions of how dangerous they think it is or they think it isn't. AOTD also said, Trev, have you seen the reports about the Fear and Walking Dead crossover? Morgan takes the Fear gang to Alexandria next season. Oh, I wish, man. That would be so cool if that was true, dude. To where they do like a big crossover season or something. That would be awesome, man. I would love to see that. Maybe after like season, 11 or during season 11 or season 12 or something. I've heard them, but I kind of see them as like rumors right now. If they actually did them, that would be so sweet. I would love to see a crossover between Fear and the original Walking Dead. That would be so cool, man. Because they did crossovers with Buffy and Angel. And, there's lots of series. Like in the 90s, I've been watching X-Men lately, the X-Men animated series. They did an X-Men animated series and Spider-Man animated series crossover too. And it was good for both of them. So it's really good. Let's see here. Yeah, so thanks, Jay. I will try to watch Ozark. I will. So I promise you that. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's see. We got any other final ones here before my voice just cops out on me? But let's see what we've got here. No, Morgan isn't dead. So yeah, I really think that Morgan will not be killed off. I think Lenny James did an interview recently where he was kind of talking about that a bit. He can't answer, obviously. So he obviously can't. He can't answer. So but I hope that. I hope that he'll survive. I really do. I really don't want to see Morgan be killed off at all, man. Yeah, we don't die, right? Exactly. Yeah. X-Men in the 90s, Kevin, was fire. Yeah. I'll show you. I've been updating my X-Men figure collection. It's looking sick. And I bought some X-Men cards from the 90s, like old school. So I'm going to do that. James W. said, Harvey Weinstein is my hero. James, bro, no, man, it's not cool. Okay, so let's go into that a bit too. And that is that there are actual predators out there in the industry, especially in the pyramid. Because remember, like I said, if it's a satanic system, you have some dark people in the entertainment industry of what sometimes they call it Hollywood, right? They call it Hollywood. But if you get into some of the dark stuff, it could be Hollywood. It's not cool, man. Like, because this stuff is real, right? So, you got Jim Carrey, number 23, this kind of stuff. There are some heavy hitters here that are satanic in and around the entertainment industry and even in politics and this stuff. So it's not cool, man, because there are actually some predators in there. Are there some people that aren't, that they make out to be? Probably, but there are some that legitimately are, and there are some that have to pay their dues in the industry, and that's really dark, man. And I feel really sorry for those people, and I don't like people like that are predators in the industry and use their position and power to get what they want, whether it be sexually or otherwise. It's not right, man. It's really dark, man. It's awful. Or even the stuff with the kids and the young and what they do with them. Oh my God, man, it's brutal, man. Absolutely brutal. Someone said, Karen said Epstein didn't kill himself. Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. That's just one example too. People make a big deal about that, but that's just one example of an entire culture and an entire subsystem of the pyramid that engages in this type of behavior. They absolutely do. So yeah, man, absolutely. So yeah, I heard about the crossover. I need to catch up on Fear. Yeah, catch up on Fear, Red. Now's a good time, man. Everything's off, so why not, dude? For sure. So yeah, let's COVID Z, says Doug Gibson. Definitely Jay, every episode was epic. All right, let's see here, man. Gangs of London, someone wants me to watch that. Abraham is the C character. Maybe, no, I don't think Abraham was ever really a C character. He was introduced pretty strong. Maybe you could say he started out as like a lower and then he moved up. But yeah, we're all in a simulation anyway, says Marcus. Yeah, it could be. That's basically, okay, I think that's probably good for today because my voice is wrapping up. Any guys got any final super chats you want to send through or final questions? James W says the Clintons killed more people than John Wick, including Epstein. There is a huge hit list of people in and around the Clintons that died. Huge list of people that died in and around their immediate circle. That's a good way to tell a conspiracy when you see an irregular amount of death in and around certain people, certain parties. That's a good way to tell you have a pyramid type of operation there because you have too many people that would naturally die at a young age than should have. That is a really good way to tell that something funny is going on. Diana Rainey wants to know, is Scientology in the pyramid? I really don't know, Diana, but I think it's probably connected. Yes. A lot of these, like Yale, what is it? The Yale Skull and Bones, Freemasonry, and Scientology. A lot of these secretive type of societies are connected into the Royal Society at the top, but the people at the bottom don't know it. So they may join Scientology or Freemasonry, and they may not know that the top level, it feeds into the Illuminati. It feeds into the pyramid. They don't know that. So that's the thing. You got guys like, what's his name? Tom Cruise. I'm sure Scientology is down with the powers. If it wasn't, then it wouldn't be what it is probably. What is Scientology? It's another one of those groups in Hollywood or in and around that type of area that is like its own, I guess, sub-religion, something like this. Some people call it a cult. It's sort of like the movie. If you guys seen the movie, I want to do a review for that one, Hot Fuzz. I think I've done it at one point. I love Hot Fuzz with Simon Pegg, where he basically goes in and he finds out that a town is run by a secret cult and they all wear the cloaks and everything, a secret society. And you got Yarp, the Yarp character, Rory McCann is it, who played in Game of Thrones, the Hound. And he finds out that everyone's in this cult, that he goes into this town. I love the movie. But the funny thing is, it's kind of true. That's the funniest thing. Hot Fuzz is sort of real life. It actually kind of is. The uber elites actually get together and wear these cloaks and do these ceremonies. They actually do this. So that's what's so funny about Hot Fuzz is that it's actually sort of true in a way. What about The World's End? I don't know. So yeah, I don't know about The World's End. I watched it once, but it just seemed like a drunk, funny movie to me. I didn't like it as much as Hot Fuzz. I thought it was okay. Bohemian Grove. Yeah, they actually get together and they actually do. Joe Rogan at least gave us that. At least Joe Rogan admitted that Alex Jones is right in his footage and stuff, that they actually do get together and do ceremonies and do sacrifices and do mock sacrifices. My contention is that the people at the top of the pyramid do real sacrifices. They actually do real, legitimate human sacrifices. And yes, they do. Everybody wants Jess. We want Jess. Where's Jess? Yeah. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Josh. Okay, I'll bring Jess back since you guys asked for the next one. I'll make her do it. I'll say, no, you got to do it. They want to see you. The guys want to see you. So is what it is. Yeah, man, that's what it is. Does Tom Cruise believe that aliens were here first? I don't know, Zim. I don't know what he believes. I haven't really read into Tom Cruise too much. I'm not a huge Tom Cruise fan. So is what it is, but is what it is. So did you guys like the stream today? I hope you guys liked it. We talked some Walking Dead as much as we could, but at the same time, there's only so much going on with Walking Dead right now. And so I do hope we see some kind of crossover. That's a good question. And I guess the last one, let's put in one from, let's see, Jack Goldberg. Yeah, Jack Goldberg for the last one, who says the pyramid won't touch Joe Rogan. He's too big. And the thing is for Jack, they don't have to. They won't shut down Joe Rogan ever. They don't have to because Joe Rogan doesn't go against the program. Joe Rogan has people on that further back up the agenda. So Joe Rogan is a mainstream tuber now. Joe Rogan is a mainstream podcaster. He is a CNN for the internet. He is a CNN for YouTube and for your iTunes podcast or your podcast or whatever. So they don't need to take him out because he is absolutely in line with what they want. So he'll be fine. You won't have to worry about it. So yeah, that's it. So, okay, guys, let's wrap for today. My voice is spent, and next time I'll have Jess on for us, and she'll join us. And I hope you guys have yourselves a great week. I'll see you again probably in a couple of days. Always fun hanging out with you guys. Always a great time. And let's hope we can continue to do this in the future without YouTube pulling the plug at some point. I hope they don't, but you never know. They could watch this live stream and say, well, he said this and he said that and he said this, shut him down or something. So let's hope they don't do that. Please, YouTube, if you're watching this, please don't shut down Trash Tan 2. We're not that anti-pyramid. We respect the pyramid. It's there. We're not going to mess with it, whatever. Okay, guys, have yourselves a great night. Be safe. If you go out, still be cautious of COVID and everything. Do your thing and be safe, guys. It would suck. I hope it never happens, Red Wolf. And I'll see you guys again soon. It's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Love you guys. I'll see you soon.